I know. That was fun.
Okay.
Wee.
We were just talking about the shoes in here. Well, Riley was talking about the shoes.
Well, you guys know how I have my I Heart Fashion blog, and I'm not gonna lie. When you were in the studio before, I kind of snaked a couple of pictures
Oh,
of
you
them.
did? Oh, okay.
because
Yeah.
they're quite stunning.
Thank you. I actually wore these yesterday, but I liked them so much I wore them again. It's a bit taboo. You're not supposed to wear the same thing twice, I hear, but I am.
You guys see, I told you she was really chill. Like she wears the same thing twice in a day. I love that. But they're worth it though. Look at them.
Yeah, they had to get some extra shine. Thank you.
How does that work when you're in the media, though? Because you're saying you can't wear the same thing twice. I would imagine you got like paparazzi just analyzing everything.
Yeah, it's funny 'cause you guys are the ones that always notice when I do. They're like, she wore those shoes 2 years ago. But like, well, I like them, so I kept them. But I don't think it matters if you wear the same thing twice.
No.
It's called reworking an outfit.
The best shopping is in your own closet, right?
Yeah, sometimes, especially when it's something old and then you rediscover it. That's my favorite. You're like, I forgot I had this.
How big is your closet? We were having a conversation the other day about, like, Riley said she wanted to make a bedroom into a closet.
Yes, please.
Yeah, no, I don't have any kind of situation like that, funnily enough. I'm like a neat freak, and I have to throw things out all the time. I'm psychotic. The only thing I don't throw away is shoes.
Yep.
I'll store those, and I hoard shoes, but not clothing. So if I haven't worn it for a couple of months, I just get rid of it. So my closet's regular size. I actually have the man's closet in our house, and Nick has the
No.
woman's closet.
No.
Yeah, 'cause he's got so many jackets and like jeans, and he hoards everything. So I was like, just do you, boo.
You are a better woman than I. I've been like, no, that big closet's mine.
Yeah, no, he's like really takes over all the closets in our house. I just have the one, and then hoard my high heels.
Yeah, we're actually married, so she just gives me like a little corner of the closet, and then the rest is hers. That's right. Let's start talking about the album that's coming up this summer. Obviously, Team is. We were just talking in the studio about how of an impact it's had on YouTube.
Yeah,
Like,
I was
didn't
super
even realize
surprised.
I was watching the initial video when I saw like one of them had 30 million views.
I know that everyone's like, why aren't you in your music video? I was like, it's the dance video.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's not the real video
Yeah.
yet. It's funny because all the other videos that I've done, you know, it's kind of like standard to put up a lyric video when you first release a song before you put out your real music video. And so with the way that we have changed how we're counting content and counting streams, I think this changes the way that artists think about what their content is. And I wanted, of course, something that was going to get more streams than a lyric video, which is like usually under 1 million. Like you're lucky if you get it in that 700,000 type of zone. So with streaming counting, I just wanted to kind of like take that, whatever that video was, the precursor to the real thing, kind of to the next level. And so we did this dance video, which was awesome.
Really,
And I would have loved to have been in it, but I just cannot move like those girls.
I was
so
waiting
let
for a
them have
cameo,
it.
but yeah.
Yeah, I took a step back and let them do their thing, and I'm really glad everybody loved that as much as they loved the actual music video. In fact, they loved it so much I got worried to put out the real video because I thought, what if people don't like this as much as the dance video? Like, it's been so well received, and it's so up-tempo and fun, and the real video is like a bit more symbolic and slower pace, so I didn't know if people would gravitate towards the real video more than the dance video. But I think people enjoy both, and they're very different, so I'm really glad I decided to do two.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. It's interesting to me how much thought process you put into that. I don't know. I just think I would assume that, you know, you just people pitch you video ideas and then it's on there, but it sounds like you really are into the whole content creation of, you know, where to go with things and how to create things outside of the music video and outside of what people have come to expect.
Yeah, I love creating content, period. It's like one of my passions, not just musically. Like I'm developing some TV shows at the moment that are going to come on television that have absolutely nothing to do with me, just my ideas. And I love to make my ideas up for my music videos and collaborate with different people directing those. So once streaming started to count, I was like, this is great because sometimes it's hard to convince your label why they should make the second video or a third piece of content because, of course, it costs money. So it's hard to justify why we're justifying spending for those extra pieces of content. But now that streaming counts, it's a justification. So I kind of took that opportunity and was like, chokehold. Like,
Yeah.
all right, I want 2 videos. Like, what can I squeeze out of this change that can affect my fans and having more content for them to get to see, as well as me having more streams. And I think it's like a win-win scenario. So I'm really happy with the change with streams being counted.
What was the price tag of spray painting that jet?
A
Uh-oh.
lot. A lot. In the hundreds of thousands for that. Yeah.
So recently you posted a photo of you and Kesha going on horseback riding or whatever. So
Uh-huh.
you're Team Kesha.
Yeah, of course I'm Team Kesha. I love Kesha.
If this was you and Sony had said, hey, you know, we'll let you out of your deal if you lie, what
Yeah.
would you have done?
You know, like I've had my own court case. It wasn't the same scenario, but I've also been told, if you say this isn't real, we'll leave you alone. And I also said I'm not doing it. So I totally understand where she's coming from. And to me, it just like validates the fact that she is really telling the truth and wants to stick by her story. And she's not going to let anybody like make her look like some liar just to be able to release music. And I totally understand where she's coming from. So I support her, and I'm sure that it's going to sort itself out. To me, it just seems like it can't go on. It just can't go on forever.
Right.
Yeah, it's too long already, and it's just a shame, especially in California, like with I think it's either the 5 or 7 year rule, where if your contract's inactive, then you finally get out. It's just, in the age of the internet now, I think we really need to relook at how long that inactivity has to occur for before the contract becomes void, because in the age of the digital era, that many years is like sometimes people's
Crushing.
more than one career span of an artist can fit into that. Some people don't even get a second or third album. You know, the average
Second or third
artist
hit.
might only be out here for 2 or 3 years. So for her to be mid-career and then forced to wait like what is essentially a lifetime sentence for an artist, I just don't think that that's tangible anymore. And I would like to see people revisit that amount of time that you are allowed to just sit on somebody and their talent and their ability to make an income. It just seems like it's not very fair.
It's a shame, yeah.
It is a shame, and I wonder how many artists haven't been able to speak out about problems like this and have had their careers ruined, you know, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. I think a lot.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's really tough to change the law no matter what the law is. And this is like especially peculiar. So I hope that, you know, it's great to have the free Kesha hashtag and do all this other stuff. But really what she's going through is part of a bigger legal issue where I think maybe some legislation needs to change in regards to that.
The other law, and I feel like for whatever reason you get just, man, I don't know, even understand why you get it so bad, is the paparazzi deal out in
Yeah.
California, which just shocking to me they haven't changed that. And it's amazing how, it's weird, man, because when we talked about online about having you here, it was insane. Like, obviously, you've had,
Trolls.
well, it's both. It's like so many trolls, but so many people that love you as well, you know, and you could see that in the views. But for whatever reason, yeah, those trolls are out there and they just pile it on. It's like the littlest thing you say, you know, even prepping for this interview, I said, all right, Iggy News, let's see what's going on. And it's like one thing that you said over like 30 websites.
Yeah.
What's that like? And like, how do you break away from that?
Well, of course, you know, I don't look at them. I don't read them. Sometimes maybe I might see a headline or two retweeted into my timeline, but I try to stick to just looking at the people that I follow and their notifications, and that filters out a lot of the like crap, basically.
Yeah.
But it is tough, especially in California, because as long as you're newsworthy, you can pretty much stalk someone. So it's a weird environment to live in, but I don't know. I wouldn't change it. You just deal with it. You adapt. Like, I think people very resilient human beings are, and you adjust to your situation. So it took me a little bit to adjust to mine, but over the last year, I feel like I can kind of handle it better now. I know what to expect, and it's just all a part of it. I feel a lot less affected by those headlines the second time around.
Yeah. You don't like, do you do your own grocery shopping?
No.
Okay.
I
That's
feel
what
so
I
bad
was
to say that, but I don't.
No, that's
Honestly,
what
no.
No, that's what we were talking about. Because you know,
Yeah.
you get so much hate from people that I can't imagine what it would be like. Like I was saying earlier, we're married. I can't imagine what it would be like checking out and looking over and having a made-up story about what I did or what she did.
Mhm.
You know, I just even if we both know that is fabricated, that's just messed up. I mean, you know, there's no way around it.
Yeah, I think it's really easy to have people criticize the work you put out or your video or whatever it is that you're doing professionally, but having the personal criticism of your private relationship is very weird to me, especially because obviously none of these people know anything about my relationship or what goes on behind closed doors or even me or the other person. So it's just a weird thing to have an opinion about. But of course, it's considered entertainment, so again, part of it. But that part is kind of like irks my soul a little
Yeah,
more
yeah.
than the rest. But yeah, it's not much you can do about it.
And I give you respect because you're one of the few artists that actually address situations, and you know, you'll call people out, which I think is we need more of that, because it's just, you know, I think a lot of artists are muted by their labels, and then they
Yeah.
can't say what's happening. And
Yeah, it's definitely messy when you do, but I'm a
Oh,
big
yeah.
mess, so I'm down to do it.
But do you find your current situation now, like the positive or the flip side of that could be, do you find that you're stronger in your relationship now? Because now you guys can come out and be like, you know what? You guys said all this drama and we're still here.
I don't know. I mean, for me, it's like been a lot the last couple of weeks of things, and of course, I'm on this tour, coming out to meet all you guys, and just I really want to reconnect with everyone because I took a hiatus and I recorded my album. I really didn't tour last year, so I didn't get to see a lot of you. And before my album comes out or before I tour and do those shows, I just really wanted to go around and just show my appreciation for everybody supporting me over the last year, because I know it was difficult. And there are trolls, and it is hard to just say, "Oh, well, I like her, so forget you."
Yeah.
So I just wanted to come and show my appreciation to everybody before I like really get out there and get back kick things into gear. But it's been a busy week, and it's kind of I haven't really had time to like sit down and process everything,
yeah.
or really make up my mind about what I'm doing in my private life or what the scenario is. So I don't know. It's kind of like you're going all the time. And that was a bit of the problem that I had last year, where it was exhausting and I was going so much, I didn't really have time to stop and take care of these sorts of things. So I haven't really taken care of that yet. I don't know what I think about it yet, but I'm just going to wait till I get home and just like deal with it when I'm done doing this. 'Cause right now this is the number one most important thing to me, is to just get out there and see all my fans. It's more important than I don't want to cancel that and go home, or I'm here to do this. So that's where my mind's at.
That's the most, I think, human and honest answer I've ever received from anybody.
Round of
From
applause,
anybody.
right?
Well, thank you.
And I'm not going to address that because I think it's been addressed to death, and it's like
Yeah.
freaking everywhere. I do want to ask you, because he's into sports, and one of our best friends is into sports as well, and they're going through a hard time, or a difficult time, I should say, because it's so hard to see each other because of his schedule. He always has games. He's always traveling. He gets like 2 months a year off.
Yeah.
You're an artist, and you're dealing with that end of things. How does that even, like, do you guys plan like a couple of months where you just go off by yourselves to like a tropical island? Like, how do you?
I wish.
How does that work?
You know what? It was kind of. I think I made probably most of the sacrifice or organization in that. Just because my schedule is more flexible, I have the control over what I say yes or no to, and when you're an athlete and you're part of a team, you don't get to choose what day the game is on. You know, I can pick what day my show is on. I have the luxury of those decisions. So I would always try to make sure, you know, I'd work more when he's doing away games. If he's not in season, then I try to make sure I'm not touring in the summer because I want to be home while he's home. So I just would always try to work my way around those kinds of things, because I know he doesn't have the luxury to be able to kind of navigate around me. So I just like, I guess he's the sun and I'm just like going around it.
That's the sweetest thing I've
Yeah.
ever heard anybody say about their fiance. He's the sun and I'm going around it. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I mean, you got to do what you got to do, but the last year really wasn't very difficult because I was at home, of course, all year, and so I was like, it was weird actually spending that much time with somebody because it was always so difficult, especially in 2014. It's like everybody wants a piece of you, and you want to try to do everything as well as make the person that you live with happy and still feel loved, and still feel like they're just as important or the most important. So it got kind of stressful trying to keep that balance, but the last year was really good because I just was at home to the point where he was like, can you get back out there and work? Like, what are you doing?
Go back to
So
work, lady.
I was like, this is good because I've made him so sick of me. Now I can like really go like hell for leather out there all summer, and he won't have anything to say. He cannot complain. So that was good. It was good having the year off and being able to spend time with him.
We're going to jump into Riley's randoms. First, let me ask you, and then a few questions, and we'll let
Okay,
you,
cool.
because I'm sure you have 100 things going on. The new album is done. Can you tell us anything else about it?
Yeah, it's done. We're printing up the packaging because I've got a cool like lenticular album cover that kind of like morphs. So we have to do that super early, but it's still being mixed and mastered, and there's like a couple of little tweaks on people's voices that need to get on it, but it's very set in stone. And it's going to come out like, I guess I'd call it mid-June, like mid to early June, after my birthday, which is June 7.
Happy early
Hey.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
So I'm super excited about just the whole project. I don't know, it just feels like a better balance to me than the debut. I think the debut is always a tough reflection of the artist, because you just got signed. There's a lot of pressure to try to have that like hit debut, and I think for most artists, you lose a little bit of yourself in the process, and then the sophomore is kind of like that make or break. So I hope it will be the make for me, because I just felt really comfortable kind of like taking it back and using some of those more electronic or like mixtape elements that I have, like kind of getting a bit wacky and silly with the ideas. And that was something maybe I wouldn't have done if I hadn't have just thrown it all to the wind and been like, well, you know what, who cares what people say? Like, I don't really care about necessarily trying to be super lyrical or super hip hop. Like, some songs are more than others, and I just wanted to have a mix and not let anything anybody had to say about me make me want to like move away from what people love about me. Because like we said earlier, there are a lot of people that love what I'm doing too, so I didn't want to just totally abandon that. And I don't think I have in this album, but it's definitely a progression and also a flashback to some of the earlier stuff.
It's awesome. I can't wait.
Well,
cannot wait.
thank you.
I mean, team
Me
is,
too.
like I said, I was jamming out the team. That's my,
It was kind of embarrassing.
almost want to
the way he
curse,
was
but I
doing
won't. Riley Randoms.
Okay, so we do this little thing called Riley Randoms, where it's just the first thing that comes to your head.
Okay, but I'm going to warn you, I have a lot of brain farts, so sometimes nothing comes to my head.
You and me both.
Okay.
Okay. Naked selfies, yay or nay?
Naked selfies?
Yes.
Nay. It's a nay from me, but if you want to, do you, boo, but not from me.
Earmuffs, honey. Yay, yay.
Okay. My favorite word is?
My favorite word? I don't know. You'd have to ask my friends. They're outside. They'd probably tell you what I say all the time. I like to put on a fake English accent of my manager. That's probably the thing I like to do the most and have a favorite word.
Can we hear it?
Well, she like has this like Liverpool accent, and she's always like, if you knew her, you'd know. She'd be like, oh yes, Iggy, the song's doing very well, I see on the charts. Good for you, love. And so like we always talk like that, and people don't know that I'm just being stupid pretending to be my manager. And they'll always say to my friends like, wow, I didn't know her accent was that strong. And she's like, it's not her accent. She's being a complete idiot. Like, she's just trying to talk like Sarah, but nobody ever sees Sarah, so they don't know that I'm making fun of my manager. And now they all do it outside, too. So we just all sit in a car together like, oh, yes, yes, oh, yes, together. I don't know what's wrong with us.
Okay, so pick one. Give me diamonds or give me cuddle time?
I don't know. I like to look like Mr. T with my gold chains and my diamonds, but cuddle time is good too. I think more than either of those things, I just like to be a big kid and have a laugh and run around. So maybe just some playtime. Like I love to go like ride roller coasters and just do anything a 16-year-old would do. I still want to do as an adult over diamonds or any of those things. I'm too energetic to have cuddle time. I can only do that for like 2 minutes and then I'm bored.
Okay.
Is it hard to do those things now, though? Like, you go to Six Flags out there and everybody's like, oh, Iggy's.
I can still do it. It's just different because there probably will be like 20 security guards in a circle around us.
Right.
But the
Perks.
good part about it is, unfortunately for whoever else is in the line, they let you ride the roller coaster as many times in a row as you
Oh,
want.
that's awesome.
And sometimes I'll be like, I'm sorry, but again, again. But then it really makes you want to vomit. Like some of those things you shouldn't do more than one time in a row because after 3 times you're just like, bleh. But yeah, it's it's a lot more expensive to go to a theme park when you have to have a lot of security guards. So I don't do it as much, but I still go. It's worth it because I'm a roller coaster junkie.
That's awesome.
Six Flags over Georgia.
Yep.
So if you could elect any celebrity to be president, who would you choose?
Oh, God. None, really.
Good idea. Good idea.
I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I mean, doesn't like Congress and like House of Representatives make all our decisions anyway? So what could they really get done? Not much.
If you had one do-over in life, what would it be?
If I could have one do-over, it's hard to. Like so careless with some of the things I've said. I think I'd need more than one do-over, but if I could do one thing over, I really wish that I could have changed the lyrics to my Kendrick Lamar remix. I like regretted it the week after. Even when I was writing it, I was like, this scene, I knew I shouldn't have been doing it while I was doing it. And I just wish I had never done that. I just, when sometimes you just know you shouldn't be doing something.
Yeah.
And then after you're like, why didn't I just listen to my gut instinct? What the hell was I thinking? That's definitely one thing that I'm just, to this day, I don't even know. That was just bad. I wish I could do that over.
So hashtag do-over, right?
Yeah, do over. What song are you most proud of?
Most proud of, I don't know. Well, I really love Team. I'm not just saying it 'cause it's my new single, but that was like, I didn't even know if I would make a second album, or I just kind of wanted to take a break and see how I felt about things. And Team was that just like one big record that it just stood out to me, and obviously 'cause it's my single, and also I'm singing on it, and it was really important to me that I didn't have a feature for my lead single, and that was something I wanted to come out and accomplish. So it's not often I sort of set out with a goal like that with a record, like I must do the chorus or I must do this, but I really felt like I must make a song that's single worthy, that doesn't have another person on it. And it was really difficult to do that, and I did it with Team. So I'm kind of proud that I was able to achieve my goal with that song.
That's cool. That's really cool.
So you guys, we have time for like 2 questions from people because we've just gabbed too much up here. So how's about back here with the glasses on? Chloe? Yes, you. What do you want to ask, sweetie?
Yeah, all the time, especially in summertime, 'cause I love Atlanta in the summertime. We were just talking about it. We were like, I miss the daiquiri factory. Even though I don't drink anymore. But I definitely did when I lived here, and I had some good times. I don't know, Atlanta and strawberry daiquiris, to me, they just kind of like, they go together really well.
Hand in hand.
I miss that a lot, yeah.
How about right here with the red hair?
You definitely can't get any validation online, and it's funny because when you're a new artist, you really look for validation online. That's the place you go to get the feedback, or you're looking at how many hits you have as they go up. And so I think you kind of get in the habit of seeking this validation when you're first coming out. If you're somebody that's come out on the internet, that's where you're finding it. And then as you kind of get to the peak of something that's mainstream, that changes, and you won't find your validation there anymore. So you have to find it somewhere else. For me, it was just figuring that out and switching off and getting some self-validation, which is kind of the message and with Team and the single there. Like, you just kind of got to find it in the mirror. And sometimes that takes time. It might take a year of like feeling really crappy every single day, but if you just say it to yourself enough, you will believe it eventually, and that's the only place that you can get it from. Okay. Oh, thank you. I should have. It's funny 'cause I never put it in my stage show, and then I like added it in the last couple of shows, and it went really well. And now, for this sophomore album, I'm having a band with all my live shows, which I didn't before. because I really didn't know, or maybe I didn't have the right musical director, and I didn't know how to balance like that electronic influence that I have in my music with a live sound and still not detract from what the record sounds like. For me, I like to hear a song on stage and it sounds like the record that I fell in love with, and sometimes a live version of something that's very electronic, it can take that away. But now that I have a band and I've kind of like, I think I've sorted the mix out with that kind of thing. Like we saw at the iHeart Awards, I had a band, but it still sounded like Team. So I'm definitely going to do Goddess a lot more because I really love that record too. Yeah, especially with a band and a guitar on stage. Yeah, it's in the program now.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I don't want to deprive the time for the pictures because we got to get some pictures, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Epic
thank you so much,
selfies.
and it's incredible to talk to somebody that's
Thank
as
you,
honest
guys.
and you address everything and genuine. You're right,
Yeah.
genuine. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm like super excited to take pictures with you guys, and I just want to say I really appreciate everybody coming today and waiting for me because I know I'm running late. But I hope I can come back soon and do an actual show. So maybe you'll invite me.
Anytime.
But it's just good to see you all again.
Guys, give it up for Iggy. You guys want to keep your seats here, and then we'll set you up with selfies in just like a couple of minutes, okay?